Food security will be among the top 3 challenges facing humanity in the 21st century. 8 Iowa State University engineers and plant scientists are collaborating to design crops with better yields and better tolerance to climate change.
We work at developing better methods to characterize plants. We model the production of food and the transport of water in plants. And then we see if the plants in their current form are optimized for example, climate change and things like that. And if they are not, we design new structures, new shapes, new plants, and we are then asking the plant scientists to create those, to breed those.
Today, scientists have powerful tools to manipulate the genome of plants, while breeding remains a huge trial and error process. However, there is much work to be done to understand how plants work and their evolution into the shapes and traits that we see and measure today.
Traditional approaches have relied on very labor-intensive screening of breeding germlines to see what kind of yields they get under certain conditions. What we tend to do is to integrate 2 disciplines that have really not been integrated very well over a long period of time, because they have different approaches, different philosophies, as well as different perspectives of how to answer questions. And it will allow for the development and selection more quickly of genotypes that can be readily utilized in the environment.
The idea of computationally engineered plants is to identify, not simply based on empirical performance, but a rational approach of what would be the best plant form for a given environment and for a given purpose. So what's new here is coming up with an idiotype, an ideal plant form, based on our understanding of physiology and fluid dynamics, physics.
Characterizing traits and shapes of plants poses many exciting engineering challenges.
The limitation of looking at the primary target of our work, such as on root biology, is that soil is an opaque material, and so you can't really look at them easily. And with the new technologies that we're developing, we should be able to look at real root development in the soil over time, and from that be able to model nutrient transport and water transport in ways that have never been done before.
So what we're trying to do is use X-ray computed tomography to actually visualize the roots in their home environment, if you will. So the idea is that once we identify what type of soils we can visualize roots in, we can grow roots in particular media and then do X-ray computed tomography of real roots in that media.
There will be 2 different types of systems. First one is the sensor system, which will monitor, like what I said, the nutrient, for example, nitrate, in soil and plants. Second instrumentation is high throughput plant phenotyping system. This is a system which can allow people to grow plants on a chip. And then the system can allow people to flexibly change growth environment of a plant, for example, temperature, humidity, CO2 level, light, and even bacterial environment of a plant.
A visualization approach can help to do it in the longer run more efficiently. It can be coupled to processes to really quantify different aspects of the root development. And we are interested in relating root characteristics as we find them under natural conditions in the soil with performance.
Computation and modeling are tools that allow researchers to investigate the complexity of plants and possibly optimize their performance.
And so this is where instead of going out in the field and doing a lot of high throughput experiments that are resource intensive and time intensive, coming with a computational paradigm and throwing that into high performance computing resources, you can go through millions and billions of combinations and figure out which ones might work. In both aspects, computation as an enabler for making sense of data, as well as computations as a complementary exercise in understanding the physics. I think high performance computing plays a critical part. It allows us to look at problems that we have not been able to look at before. Primarily because of, in the first case, of the huge amount of data being generated, right? So, and the second, because of just the sheer number of combinations that we have to try out.
The work group for computationally engineered plants is striving to produce theoretical results that are quantitative and to elaborate hypotheses that are field testable.
We have strong groups doing genomics, phenomics, engineering, micro-nanotechnology, modeling, optimization.
Not only do we have a unique set of skills here at Iowa State, but we're also interconnected with the people around the world that are doing this.
From the very beginning of this group, we identified resources that we have in-house and resources that we need. So we've been going to the best groups in Harvard. We've been organizing a seminar series to invite here plant biologists or engineers who had skills that we don't have, and we continue to do that. So the next steps are to educate a generation of engineers and plant scientists who can use those tools, but also to educate the government agencies.
The biggest importance of this is that we need to produce food and fiber. I think this is a long-term investment that 10, 20 years we'll begin to realize some of the things we're doing, because plant genetics and plant manipulations take time.